Kurwa. Ej. I spokój. Widzowie jeden. Nie no. Coś pięknego. 9 osiągnięć. Dużej przygody tutaj kurwa nie oczekuję. Ale w sumie nie oczekiwałem jakoś. Okej. O, i Hukos jest. Witam cię, Hukos, witam. Trzeba przesunąć górę. Uff.
lot of this isn't going to make sense to you. And I'm sorry. About that.
Jednak chyba trochę za cicho. Może tak zróbmy. O.
I'm just gonna start at the beginning, with the house.
Dziwne jest, bo to jest być z gry nowa gra, tak trochę dziwny początek, bo nie ma jakiegoś menu, to jest takie menu Już ci mówię. Zajebiście. Już ci mówię, bo sam muszę sobie przypomnieć. Mówię. Przygodówka, no taka, co nie mogę powiedzieć więcej, Hukos. Odkrywamy historię, tak, losach członków rodziny amerykańskiej obarczoną jakąś klątwą, nie? Tajemniczą. No, gra nie jest krótka też ogólnie. W sumie to mówię dużo, a mówi nic, nie? Tak naprawdę. W sumie nie mówi nic. Za bardzo. A, czyli jesteśmy główną bohaterką, której nadrzędnym celem jest odkrycie mrocznej tajemnicy swojej rodziny i dowiedzenie się, dlaczego ona pozostała przy życiu. Ta gra mimo wszystko już ma trochę swoich lat. Bo ma tak z 8 już. Ale powiem szczerze, że no, zawsze byłem ciekawy, zawsze tak myślałem, żeby z nią zagrać i tak odkładałem. W końcu nie? Trzeba próbować różnych gier. To co mamy, póki możemy, tak? To co mamy, to co było kiedyś, póki można jeszcze. Więc korzystajmy. Tyle co mogę powiedzieć. Może mam nadzieję, że coś sklecisz, Hukos. Ale dzięki.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Okay.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Czemu taki mi view dają? Chciałem zobaczyć stopy.
My mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Jakiś las. Wydaje mi się dosyć ciemno, nie? W sumie taka pogoda, ale... jasność. O. Teraz chyba lepiej. Powinienem iść tu do lasu? Czy nie bardzo?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Czym się biega?
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something but never do.
No w sumie to biegać chyba nie mogę, nie? Mogę skakać? Nie. Ona sobie chodzi tylko po prostu. I odmiana, nie? W końcu coś po polsku. No bo dokładnie nie było polskich napisów. Coś tam kiedyś próbowali w kraju po polsku coś zrobić, ale ostatecznie porzucono ten projekt. Ja myślę, że na
The
tyle,
house
co
was exactly like I
dla
remembered
mnie
it,
jestem w
the way
stanie
I'd been
zrozumieć.
dreaming about it.
Natomiast nie jestem chyba na siłach, żeby to całość tłumaczyć, jeżeli gra jest dana... Muszę ściszyć. Dana gra jest... Wszystkie dźwięki, muzykę. Jeżeli... Dalej muzykę. Jeżeli dana gra jest po angielsku. Zaginął.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
No, troszkę taki ogromny, bym powiedział. Ha? Ale brzydko nie wygląda, jak na grę sprzed 8 lat. Jakoś strasznie się nie zastarzała. Jest, ale czasy. 2017, przecież to było wczoraj. Co ja w ogóle mówię, nie? Masakra, ja nie mogę w to uwierzyć.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
To jest taka typowa gra przygodowa w sumie i mało tu klikania będzie. Niestety nie mogę szybciej chodzić. Chciałbym, ale niestety nie mogę. A jeszcze muszę tego... Zapominam o tym YouTubie, nie? Tak więc no... Więc te gierki po angielsku jestem jako tako w stanie zrozumieć, natomiast... A, nie mam klucza.
I
A,
hoped
mam
the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Nie mów, że tu będzie klucz.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Więc tak, więc jakoś tak, żeby przetłumaczyć ogólnie to chyba to nie bardzo. Grać jestem w stanie, ale w sumie, bo pewnie tutaj, co? No nie mów mi, że wejdzie tędy.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot
Uh.
easier when I was 11.
Na pewno. No, ale tak. Nie dałbym rady nawet tak napisów skleić w ten sposób, bo na YouTubie są dostępne jakieś po polsku zawsze, ale to są dorabiane tak przez danego twórcę. Więc no.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Co ciekawe, jak była ta sprawa z tym, z The Outer Worlds 2, co powiedzieli, że nie będzie polskich napisów w grze i jak się zrobiła afera o tym, to nagle na Steamie dodali polskie napisy, że będzie, nie? Więc ja nie rozumiem, czemu Polski nie liczą, nie? Jakby mogli w sumie, no
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Kiedyś nikt się nie będzie liczył i tak naprawdę póki tak jak jest, to jest, no to możemy się wszyscy liczyć, tak?
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Okej. Domek. Louis Finch. Nasza bohaterka nazywa się Edith. Edytka taka, nie? Przygody Edytki mogłem nazwać ten tytuł. Tylko trzeba chcieć. O. W tych czasach to mi się wydaje, że wszyscy powinni się uczyć angielskiego. Ja też. Siema Nanek, witam cię. Witam cię Nanek, siema. Jak tam? Witam. Dobra, jak Nanek jest, to zarobyda. Momencik. Napoić. A leci? Ale dobrze leci, czy źle leci? To jest to.
Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
No, pozytywka, czy jak?
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
No ale kurna, to nie Ja nie rozumiem trochę tak, że ona dostała jeden kluczyk, czy jak? I nie może wejść do własnego domu?
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
I właśnie to najważniejsze pytanie, czemu cała rodzina umarła, a ja jedyny żyję, tak? Czemu ta Edytka żyje w zasadzie, jako cała rodzina? Zosia już w domu teraz u babci siedzi, a nie była w domu? Coś się stało? Tu jakieś specjalne drzwi.
Edie told me
O.
once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Nie wiem skąd ludzie mają takie teksty. Nie mam pojęcia bladego.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Okej. Ja też zarobita. Zarobita. Nie będzie problemu. No chyba, że masz takiego kierownika, nie fajnego. Który nie rozumie, że też każdy ma rodzinę, tak? A kto tam już w sumie rozumie? To kto niegdzie nie rozumie, ale no, tak jest niestety, że większość to nie rozumie.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Hajs najważniejszy przecież. No. Barbara.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Ty, ale pokój. I nie będę mógł tam wejść. What a shame. Zarubyda. O,
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle
Oh.
Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
ale to ładne jest. Zrobiłbym taki pokój u siebie, ty. No. Właścicielka bym nie zabiła, ale no co. Ale fajnie by było tej. Przecież jakby meble weszły, to już nie
Lewis
tak
told me
fajnie,
there
nie?
were secret passages, but I never believed him.
No to jest do tego. Cześć Lemi, siema. Czekaj. Nanek, co ty robisz? Czekaj, co? Co się dzieje, kurwa? Co jest? Nie no, ale siema. To nie ja, tak? Fajne przywitanie, ale witam cię, Lemi, siema. Tak, miał się przywitać i przy okazji timeouta dostałeś, Lemi. No, tak jest. A, czyli u Zosi nadal coś jest nie tak, tak? Mówisz? Kurde, masakra. Do zdrówka życzę córce Nanek. Jak to się wita? Właśnie tak. Tylko nie podbieraj tych Lemi pomysłów na witanie się. Tak jest. Już wszystko oki. No i oby tak było, nie? No wiadomo, się dziecko namęczy, nie? Zawsze. Bo ciąganie dziecka po szpitalach i chodzenie po tych szpitalach masakra jest. To już jest stary ziul, to jeszcze po szpitala, no nie? Mogliby dać spokój.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Ej, jaki jest z tego sens? To jest moja chałupa, a muszę jakimiś skrytkami dla dzieci
From the
wchodzić.
paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
Okej.
But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Co tam u ciebie, Lemi, słychać?
I grew up looking at Molly's
Nie widziałem
room
cię
from
tu od
the
lat
peephole.
w sumie, więc tak... Takie huczne przywitanie specjalnie dla ciebie. Aż
Being inside for the
timeouta
first time,
dostałeś.
I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
No Nanek, to jesteś pekoks, tak? Niesamowite. Dobra, jakaś ośmiornica. Tak? W lipcu się widzicie?
Molly's gerbil had a tiny
Nice.
bedroom with its own, even tinier gerbil cage.
Tą pracę kibel. To tak jak u mnie, no wiesz jak jest. Całkiem ładny widok. Gdyby
I
nie to,
thought
co
the
to
since Edie had spent a lot
zobaczyłem na
of time
górze, to w
here
sumie można było tu mieszkać.
before my mom sealed the doors.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Mhm.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Okej, dobra. Spoko. Mgła. No to królik się najadł już.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Czemu matka mnie zamyka w pokoju i mówi, że przed spać? Co jest, kurwa?
I ate a lot of things that night.
Patola, ej. No patola jest, kurwa. Co się dzieje tutaj?
I kept eating and eating.
Nie, dobra, tego nie chciałem jeść, tylko jestem ciekawy po prostu. Dajcie spokój, dobra, już nic
Then
nie
I
klikam.
heard chirping outside my window. It was
Nie,
a barn swallow
nie.
going back to her nest.
Tak fajnie, tylko nie jest ptaka, kurna. Rybek też nie jest. Nie. Nie. Kurde. Dobra, chyba muszę to
I
kliknąć,
reached
co?
out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Okej, dobra. Miał być stray, jest stray, nie? Pierwszej osoby.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Ło. Może się dostanę tam. Nie. A, dostanę się, okej. Okej.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Halo, co wy robita? Co wy tam robita? No mogę tam dalej iść, okej? Nie skoczę tak daleko, co? Że tu jakoś... O, a mogę tędy, dobra.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind.
Dzieci to
Then I
mają
heard
wyobraźnię,
little
co?
teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
O, gdzieś doleciałem. To pewnie to samo miejsce, co? Oczywiście, że... Mogę się zatrzymać, czy... O, jest, prawie. Dobra.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Okej, dobra, dobra.
A mama rabbit.
Co tu jest jeszcze większego? Co mama?
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Rekin bez wody, okej. Dobra, podoba mi się już to. Podoba mi się. Okej. Whoops.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Jakaś rybka tu jest, widzę. Rybka musi pływać.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I
Oj,
tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
czemu akurat rekin, a nie co innego? Spoko, kos. Jeszcze jedna poczka. Poczka na wynos. A to jest chyba ta sama, co? Ciężko się tym steruje.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Tym wężem czy glizdą? Czym ja jestem?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Całkiem normalna ta gra, pewnie.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
A taka wymiana zdań. No i poza tym, że Nanek chciał przywitać Lemiego, a go stajmoutował, ale to taki szczegół. Ło, co jest? A to jest jakby moja macka, ty.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. Across the water, I spotted the moon, something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. I got closer and closer. all my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything.
Tak to jest, jak się najesz pasty z jakimiś tymi,
But
z
it's
jakimiś
not going to
owockami,
wait
co to
much
było?
longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
No i tyle, no.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Ej, dużo tego. Na razie jest Molly na samym początku. I później jest Edith. Ej, to jednak nie taka krótka ta gra będzie.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okej.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
No to takie po prostu wspomnienia. Dobra, już rozumiem. Jakby na leki? Nie wiem.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
O, kolejne. Ten sam klucz do wszystkich kulek. Okej.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Okej. Ciekawe w
Sven
sumie.
gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Zaczynam rozumieć, dlaczego ten dom jest taki dziwny. Dlaczego ten dom był taki dziwny, tak z wyglądu, nie? Ta wieża ta z domów na górze. Jest wszędzie takie są skrytki, jakieś przejścia. Nie?
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom,
A pamiętam.
and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Urwia się jak nic.
I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Uuu.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Nice.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Wszędzie jest coś okryte. Ktoś miał pomysłowy był.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
A to jest ten pokój, tak? To był ten pokój? To podglądałem, czy nie? Jakby się w sumie... No, w sumie chyba tak.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Tak bym do piwnicy się dostał, wszystko jasne. Oj, mogę wejść, jestem w komiksie, ej. Jestem w komiksie, kurwa. Pogonanej. Jestem w komiksie.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined
Kierująca
the
historia,
worst.
naprawdę.
infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Ojejku.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late
Brzmi jakby to w sumie Joker opowiadał, nie?
hours later.
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Ale znowu. Podoba mi się ta gra, naprawdę. Goty 10 na 10. Muzyka jest super, to. Na górę miałem iść. Jakaś komedia, naprawdę.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the Hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And where he was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Wiecie, to jest jakaś komedia.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Jebie się,
Wasn't
wyjebał się.
moving, but she sensed the storm.
No i cyk. Policja, prokuratura, więzienie.
We might not be over yet. The Hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Otwieram, jak to w horrorach.
At the
Będzie
door,
stał za mną, to.
she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Z wewnątrz. Z tyłu jest, oczywiście, że tak. Więcej niż
Oh
jeden.
dear.
O dear. Nie, no mówię, komedyjka.
You were wonderful.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom.
Brzmi to jak opowieści skrypty trochę.
So did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Spoko, powiem tak. Typowe opowieści skrypty.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ale serio ona tak umarła, czy po prostu umarła, a to był jej występ? Żyła 20... Czekaj... 16 lat żyła? No w chuj mało, no. To jest. Ona nie wyglądała na 16-letnią dziewczynę. Dobra. Zrobimy sobie chwilę przerwy, moi drodzy. I zaraz wrócimy dalej. Dzień dobry wieczór. Cześć, witam. Nanka to już chyba nie ma już. Ech. Dobra, to teraz cofka w sumie. Idziemy tam dalej, nie?
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Czas na pozytywę i zejście do piwnicy. No, kurwa. Nie, no. Teraz szybciej, ale kurwa nie wytrzymam, nie?
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Ludowa important. Hip. Nieważne. - 2010 rok. Okay. Chciałbym.
I wonder if the table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Chociaż może nie do końca bym chciał. Jest piwnica, tu jest ta piwnica, okej. Było cały czas kręcić, nie? Tak. A ja nie kręciłem. Że się nie dało wcześniej, nie mam pojęcia. Spoko, Hukus. W sumie tak wolno schodzę i czemu... Dobra, nic. Nic nie wiem.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
No nie dziwię się. Matka mówiła dobrze.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter. Kolejna historia.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
To jednak brzoskwinie.
But if you wait long
Gdzieś
enough,
świstaka.
you get used to anything.
To jest jakiś ten? Kron czy co?
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
A w brzoskwinie są w puszce są dobre, ale tak chuj cukru jest.
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting.
No tak, kto tak je, bo wiesz, no to tak wlewa w siebie, kurwa, od razu całość, no ja nie wiem. Z puszki to ja nawet sam jadłem w sumie, nie? Tak, widelec i taka przykąska. Oczywiście nie piłem syropu, bo syrop to tego, same ten. Bo to taki cukier, że daj spokój. Za dobry jesteś, Hukos, na urodzona po prostu.
I have to leave while I still can.
Może wieczorem. A to nie wieczór już jest? No tak, no. Wideleczek.
I know it's out there somewhere.
Albo ten, albo
Whatever killed Barbara
ananas. Ananasik w plastrach. Ale
and
to jest
Molly
wszystko.
and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy.
Nie
with
da się
one
szybciej?
day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
53 lata żył. W 2005 roku umarł.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
W sumie, no, młody chłopak, to tutaj nie... Nie wiem, skąd takie zdjęcie. To tak wygląda mając 53 lata. Nie wiem.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself.
Ciekawe, że to jest pod domem tym, nie? Wydaje się jakby inna lokalizacja, ale chyba jest inną lokalizacją po prostu.
And found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem.
A jeszcze wszystkich nie tego. Nie poznałem. Jeszcze jest Eddie. Jeszcze są raz, dwa, trzy. Sama jeszcze nie było. Raz, dwa, cztery, pięć, sześć osób jeszcze.
Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Miasto tam jest, wow, niesamowite.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Może szybciej, kurczę.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Paleta jakaś tam chyba. Albo coś innego. No i co dalej?
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Jak mi się wydaje. Kurde.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Brawo. To wszystko wyjaśnia w sumie, nie? Nie.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
No, czyli jednak sam teraz.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
O,
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
no, graficzka jest niczego sobie, prawda? Tak szczerze. Opa. Krajobraz, trawa. Tada.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Ej.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Ja mogę tam iść, pa.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Ja pierdolę, to on tak wygląda, mają 33 lata? Co tu jest, kurna, ty? 33 lata chłop miał. A ta córka była dosyć kurwa
Sam spent his life
nie
shooting
pasuje tutaj
photos,
coś.
but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Nie, te daty to są jakieś dziwne, on tak wyglądał mając tyle lat, nie. O. Me ready to eat.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Georgie. Georgie, Gregory chciałem powiedzieć. Roczek miał tylko.
Dear Kay,
Ja.
do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Mogę pływać, wow.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to...
Jakbym
Hold on,
widział
sweetie.
siebie. A mogę nadal posiedzieć. Dobrze, dobrze.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
Prawie. O, mam wszystkie katuchy.
It reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
I 360. Jak skate. Ej, pa.
It sure made him happy.
Wywróć się do góry nogami. Wstawaj, chłopieł. Daj, daj. Mogę go przywrócić. O, mamy to. O.
I know how silly it sounds. That I
I
worry about a
bąbelki.
baby being too happy.
Jej.
Feel him slipping away.
Zabawa.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could.
Jaka muzyka fajna, nie? No i dupa, to się pobawi.
Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
No, kąpiel zaliczyłem już, tak. Czuję się czysty.
Damn it.
Test.
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
O.
I wish he could have told us
Jej!
about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
To jest o.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault. sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Ciekawe, że to napisał, nie? Smutne. Więc jeszcze 4 osoby, 5 osób. Raz, dwa, trzy. Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, pięć, tak. Jest. Do 5. O, o.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
Tu z kolei 13 lat. Jasny gwint.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Mogę wrócić, tak?
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I remember.
We don't need stepmom.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Okej, ile on miał lat? Spoko.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
No i zaczęło padać.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Zaszalałem.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Gus.
She never
Gusa.
told him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Ci 4. Jest 4. Ciemno się zrobiło już. Jak fast. Quiet time, okej. Greg be a baby. Nie no. Wojsko, normalnie wojsko. O.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Każdy przyszedł swoją historię tutaj, co?
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Ale komputerek, co?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Nie ma quick pull. Piątek grill, piwko. Tak jest. Albo i nie.
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Zapisywanie. Włoż, że tam.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Co tam quick pull? Ależ ładna ta nasza przełęcz. A tam jeszcze na górę coś było, ja. Kiedy zobaczymy, czy będzie ten dodatek do Wiedźmina, nie? Jestem też ciekaw, jak będzie, to będziemy ogrywać. Od nowa będzie przychodzić Wiedźmina, czyli... Nie no, oczywiście żart. Ale przeszedłbym taki dodatek. Czy ja jestem z tego zdania, mogę tam wejść na górę? Chyba tak. Jestem tego zdania, żeby... Bez przesady też, nie? Ja tu byłem? Bo tak. To miejsce, tak, tak. Bez przesady, żeby dużo na swoje barki nie brać, tak? Bo mają dużo projektów. Więc jeżeli ma to przedłużyć jakby wypuszczenie Wiedźmina 4 w ogóle, to już wolę mieć bez dodatku i poczekać na 4. Tak szczerze. Absolutnie.
Lewis's room smelled very.
Skupię na czwórkę bardzo. No właśnie, to mówię, tak? To powiedziałem.
Very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Już wolę tą czwórkę, tak.
Lewis and I spend a lot of time playing games together,
To wygląda jak takie połączenie PlayStation i tego, i Pegasusa.
but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
I jeszcze ten tutaj kontroler, nie? O, ale stanowisko, jaki komputer, tej. Zoba. Płytki, jakie słuchaweczki z mikrofonem. Opilsy, papierośnica i taki widok, ej. Ale kozak, nie? I takie jeszcze dasz stanowisko streamingowe, możesz sobie działać. A, odpalamy streama, nie? Ale te monitory to ja pierdolę. Klawiatura to ja nie wiem, kurwa, z kosmosu. Ale myszka, no, kozak, nie? Tyru. Okej. A to nie wiem, co to jest.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Ah.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then.
Diablo!
Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. on the edge of a city he named Lewis-topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him. At all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows.
Okay.
He followed the sound of her electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Ej, już całość pochłonęła.
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Ryba. Muszę ciachać ryby.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Jest łosoś? Nie, no tak.
My imagination
Dobra.
is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
No, wydzierany jestem. Zawsze każdy musi być wydzierany. Nie? Daj ta spokój. O, Nintendo Switch 2, no proszę. Pa, to pływa tutaj.
Began to forget the world we know.
Pływa. Dobra, zrobimy sobie przerwunię. Właśnie tak. Właśnie tak. I tak, o. Ruszajmy z tym dalej, nie?
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Idziemy zajmować się łososiami. Szefu całego zamieszania wrócił, tak jest. Witam ponownie. Jak zjem, to będzie po prostu. Jak zjem, to będzie. A dziękuję. Rybka.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Nie wiem, co się dziwić. Ale powiem szczerze, gdybym pracował w takiej produkcji, na takiej produkcji, to bym miał obrzydzenie do ryb do końca życia chyba. Nikt by nie przekonał mnie do ryb. Ani trochę.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
O! Może w ten sposób zepsuję. Dobra.
The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
O, zetnął mnie.
The rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
I oczywiście był gamerem, tak? Jakieś filmy piraty, czy co? Okej. Ej, nie bój się, nie. Z powrotem tam wyjść. Halo, halo, halo. Nic ci się nie stanie.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Powiem szczerze, może nie widać, ale mnie to kupiło. Ogólnie ta historia. Nie dużo mówię, ale skupiam się na tym, bo mi się naprawdę podoba. W jaki sposób jest to przedstawione. Trochę przedziwnie, ale mnie to kupiło, nie? Będę pisać swoje.
The whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Artystyczny porządek,
the
tak.
power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
O, grubo. Grubo widzów.
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
A? O, pisanie. Znowu będę pisarką. Layers of Fear V2. Ciekawe, że Layers of Fear wtedy miały rok, jak to wyszło, nie?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
No tak.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground.
Ta gra chyba wychodziła kiedyś na plusie, nie? Na PS4 albo coś takiego. Ale nigdy jakoś w to nie zagrałem.
There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They
Tyle razy
called
było
it
dostępne.
the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Ale jakoś nie byłem pewny tej gry i nie sięgnąłem, ale tak pomyślałem, że w końcu może by wypadało, nie?
When the fog rolled in,
No i w sumie się nie zawiodłem.
lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Yo. Czy urodziła syna? I syn też, aha, syn też przyszedł to odwiedzić. Okej. Może to właśnie była opowieść tego reżysera, nie? Troszkę krótka, mogła być troszkę dłuższa, nie? Znaczy spodziewałem się dłużej, bo tam została jeszcze Edith i ta babka chyba, nie? No to w sumie te trzy opowiedziane w jednym, jakby. Przepraszam. A Edith łącznie w tym wszystkim sobie opowiedziała to, nie? No, podobało mi się. Bo jeszcze taka odskocznia od tego wszystkiego. Tych wszystkich większych, troszkę mniejszych gier i w ogóle. Troszkę żałuję, że wcześniej trochę nie pograłem. Nie, ja lubię takie gierki mniejsze też. To wszystko poznawać historię, którą mimo wszystko ktoś przekazuje, tak? To niby jest gra, ale to też jest historia normalnych ludzi. Dosyć Jonathana. O, za siedzenie w napisach jest osiągnięcie, nie? Jakbym pominął, bym nie miał. I to jedyne chyba osiągnięcie w tej grze, a jest ich 9. I nie wiem jak można znaleźć, zaraz zobaczymy, nie? Troszkę mało, znaczy 3 godziny, 2 godziny, nie? Bo to było 3 godziny streama. A z 2 godziny może niecałe 2. Więc troszkę krótko. Krócej niż to demo Residenta trójki, kurwa. Można powiedzieć, że to demo, nie? Ale super, nie? Jeszcze jest chyba podobna produkcja tych samych, z tego samego twórcy, tak chyba jest o tym łabędziu, coś tam, nie? Co tam, Quickball? Całkiem ładnie. Ja myślę, że na jakieś 2 streamy pykniemy, ale to dosyć szybko. Co ty, Quickball? Podobało się mnie to, powiem szczerze, no. Tak, tak. Oj, tak, tak, byczku. Starość. Starzeje się. No mówię, że połączenie Pegasusa, nie? Gdzieś Super Nintendo może bardziej. Może powiedzmy sobie tak, nie? Bo te kontrolery były takie właśnie. Sznesik. The end. Nie mowy na gierki. U mnie zawsze jest. A jest teraz dostępna. Wybierz Edit, aby zagrać od początku. Czekaj, możliwość rozgrania historii od nowa jest teraz dostępna. Wybierz Edit, aby zagrać od początku. Ale po co? Jest Edit, no tak, była. Więc Edit jest tu. Ale nie podano daty. Ciekawe. Może powinien coś zrobić innego, żeby to zmienić? Chyba nie. Tak z ciekawości zobaczę, nie? A ludzie w to grali, grają w to. No i to tyle.
Wonder.
I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
No to zakończenie jest takie same, czyli nic się innego nie dzieje.
Bogata i jednocześnie delikatna w swoim przesłaniu, że mógłby na tyle przyjemnie odkrywać. I jednocześnie zaskakiwałaby na każdym kroku, w każdej chwili, cały czas bez przerwy.
8 lat
Jestem
temu.
naprawdę w szoku. Jeżeli nie macie nic przeciw, zostawiam teraz napisy końcowe. Tak, zostawiam napisy końcowe i cóż, ojej, to jest... Dlatego lubię to hobby.
No super, są takie nawet takie nawet mniejsze produkcje. Fajnie tak sobie pogierczyć. A dlatego lubię. Ja mogę być starym dziadem i mieć z tego przyjemność. A to jest dużo. Aha, to są takie różne dziwne, jakieś inne gierki z tego tam. Ty, ale jest zestaw Annapurna i Interactive na Steamie, no nie? Język polski, Quickpull. Jest ten. No jest jeszcze ten. Unfinished Swan. Okej, no to jest jeszcze to, tak? I to wyszło kiedy? 5 lat temu. A to też jest Annapurna Interactive. I oni też Streya zrobili, nie? A co za informacja o zestawie, o. Ej, czaj, że... Dobra. Tak. Czaj, że za 2,5 koła prawie. Możesz mieć parę gierek? Zobacz. Gdzie to jest? Parę gierek, no więc... A Flower to wiem, to znam, nie? A troszkę jest. Troszkę tego jest. O. Troszkę jest tego, co? Stray, no to Straya mam, tego nie znam. To już graliśmy. A to co to jest? Nie wiem. Journey oczywiście, że grałem na konsoli. To właśnie, patrzyłem to. Jakby to, może to będzie fajne też. Uczymy. Last Shop, okej. Ashen. Oni Ashena zrobili? Kurde. A If Found. Oni takie gierki robią? Jasny gwincior. I to... no i to jest cały ten zestaw. Cały ten zestaw tutaj. Fajne. Fajne. Jedno osiągnięcie zdobyłem. W sumie można parę razy uruchomić dla kart, nie? Ale to... Fajnie się grało. Super. Ja myślałem, że jakieś takie 6-7 godzinek może będzie. Ale i tak było warto na 3 godziny. I w sumie na te pieniądze też, nie? Ja się bawiłem fajnie. Mi się przyjemnie grało. Zobaczymy, czy Streja myślę, że będziemy kontynuować. Zobaczymy, jak będzie z Koną. Bo to może być różnie, ale spróbujemy, nie? No i jeszcze coś się tu pewnie znajdzie. Jak to zwykle bywać, tak? Prochu kos, ja mam Game Passa Ultimate. Muszę mieć drugie życie, żeby przejść? Nie, ja też tak... Czy ja wiem, inni wiesz, też mają dzieci, dom, rodzinę i też sobie grają, nie? Nie mam ten. Ja sobie też czasem po prostu jak wracam, no to jakieś godzinkę, 2 godzinki, czasami się nie wyrobię, czasami nie chcę i nie chcę, odechciało mi się po prostu, kończę na tym, że przeglądam internet. Albo przyglądam streamy. Ale zazwyczaj właśnie tak jest, jakąś godzinkę czy coś tam sobie pyknę i... Wiesz, nie okręcam całego życia wokół gier, ale no. Na pewno kiedyś więcej grałem, bo nagrywałem na YouTube'a, no to te gierki, no to tak. I się niczym innym nie zajmowałem zazwyczaj, tylko na zajęcie chodziłem i zwyczaj nie? I po prostu YouTube'em się zajmowałem, streamami i w ogóle. A teraz tak sobie lubię też coś tam porobić. Więc to na tyle dzisiaj. Ja dziękuję wam pięknie za uwagę. Hukos jeszcze nie wrócił, no ale cóż. O, jest, akurat wrócił. No to dziękuję za uwagę, za bycie. Nagrywał reklamę dla Media Expert. Ty wiesz, co ja nagrywałem. Ty. Tak, Lemi pracował w Media Expert, tak jest. Dobra, trzymaj się ramy. Wiadomo. I do następnego. Do jutra. Elos.